What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita and welcome to the Courtside Club. Before we start, I want to thank you guys because the video that we uploaded on Tuesday after the Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun game was actually trending globally on YouTube. We were number 15 this morning, which is so wild to me. I've been on YouTube for so long and I've never had one of my videos trending, but that is honestly all because of you guys. So thank you so much for all the support, the views, the comments, the likes, the subscriptions, all of the things. You guys are amazing, and I wanted to share that with you because I thought it was really cool. And in that video, we went over all of the wild things that happened on the court during that game, starting with Jacy Sheldon hitting Caitlin Clark in the face, and then there was a little spat between the two of them, and then Marina Mabrey comes out of nowhere, shoves Caitlin Clark to the ground, and then later on in the game, there is the Sophie Cunningham hard foul on Jacy Sheldon, which turns into an entire brawl. Other players were involved. It got crazy. Sophie and Jacy were ejected. Alan was also ejected. You've seen all the clips by now. You've seen all of the different angles, and you've probably heard everybody's take on the situation. But in today's video, I want to talk about the aftermath to all of that. It has been less than 48 hours, and so much has happened. So let's start by talking about how the foul situation, the technicals, and the flagrants ended up shaking out. There was this tweet by Alexa Filippo, and she said, Marina Mabrey's technical foul from the Fever Sun game has been upgraded to a flagrant 2, the league told ESPN. A flagrant 2 comes from a standard fine. Additionally, Sophie Cunningham was fined separately for her hard foul with 40 seconds left to play. No players will be suspended. And a lot of fans were really upset about this because if Marina Mabrey's foul during the game was called a flagrant 2, like it was upgraded to, then she would have been ejected during the game. And I don't think any of this stuff with Sophie and Jacy would have happened at the end of the game if the refs would have gotten control of the game much earlier on. And I do think if they would have ejected Marina Mabrey during that whole play when she completely blindsided Caitlin, it wasn't a basketball play, it was after the whistle. If she would have been ejected at that point in time, I think it would have set the tone for the rest of the game. The refs did not have control over the players. They did not have control over the game for pretty much the entire game. The game was chippy from the jump. It was physical from the jump. There were dirty plays that were happening from the jump, and the referees didn't do their job. And because they didn't do their job properly, all of the extra things happened during the game. And from that game, the most viral clip has to be Sophie Cunningham's hard foul on Jacy Sheldon that turned into a fight between the two of them. Like I told you guys, more players were involved. And this is what the Suns coach had to say about that foul. He said, I do not understand. When you are winning the game by 17 points and you are doing this, to me, it's a stupid foul. This is just disrespectful. And I do not know how Lindsay Allen and Jacy Sheldon got ejected from the game when they did nothing. For me, it's just disrespectful to do that foul when you're winning the game by 17 points. Completely stupid. And I don't blame him for sticking up for his team. He is the coach. He has to do that. However, this wasn't just a random foul when you're up 17 points at the end of the game. To me, this was a foul to send a message. And it was a foul that was not just for everything that happened during this one game. It was also for all of the things that happened the last time the Indiana Fever played the Connecticut Sun, because Jacy Sheldon was somebody who injured Sydney Colson and was part of the reason why Sophie Cunningham also got injured during that game. So I feel like it was just a buildup of things. There was a lot of stuff. Tensions were high. That was the moment for Sophie to commit a hard foul, and she did that. And most of the world agreed with her. Most of the world was fed up with everything that was going on the court. They're fed up with the refs. They're fed up with the physicality getting to a point where players can get injured. And a lot of people were like, you know what? Finally, there's an enforcer on the court. People were calling her a hero, and her jersey completely sold out overnight. And this was something that I predicted. I actually put up a TikTok right after the game and I said Sophie Cunningham's jersey is going to sell out. When I woke up the next day, I checked the website and it was indeed sold out in every single size. And there was also this tweet from Front Office Sports. The Pacers and Fever are dealing with such high demand for their merch that their team store is temporarily limiting its online offerings. They said it's impossible to prepare for something like this. We've been getting a 1,000 orders per night. And this is just another instance that proves how loyal the Indiana Fever fans are. They sell out arenas, they run up the viewership anytime the Fever is on television, and they put their money where their mouth is, and they buy merch, they buy jerseys, they support the players that they love. I also predict at this point in time, I bet you Sophie Cunningham gets into the All-Star game as well, because voting also has a big say of who gets into that All-Star game. She earned the respect of so many fans overnight just because of that one play, for sticking up for her teammates, for sticking up for herself. Now, of course, there were a ton of fans who were supporting Sophie, but there were also some fans who were really upset with that hard foul, who were saying that she should have been suspended for more games, and some fans going even as far to make a petition to remove Sophie Cunningham from the league. Now, I actually went and found this petition because I saw it going around on Twitter, but I didn't find the link, and I have it here. It's at change.org, and it says remove Sophie Cunningham from the WNBA for misconduct, and it has this photo of her with a red X. And I was just so interested to see how many people have actually signed this petition. You guys, it was a outstanding 208 signatures. Obviously, this petition is actually crazy, and the hard foul that Sophie committed on Jacy isn't even close to some of the hard fouls that we have seen throughout this season and also last season. Now, there have also been so many tweets, you guys, about Sophie becoming a black belt when she was 6 years old. I guess she also played for her high school football team. She was the kicker there. And it's just crazy how that one play sent a message throughout the entire league, and there's so many people talking about it. And like I mentioned, with fans showing up for their team, the Fever versus Sun game drew 624,000 viewers on NBA TV, and that is even more than the Chicago Sky versus New York Liberty game, which was on ESPN, which is obviously a much bigger broadcast. They drew in 606,000 viewers, and 150% more than the network average this NBA season, which is 249,000. So at this point in time, the Indiana Fever are continuing to draw in the most viewership around the WNBA, and at this point in time, they're also beating the NBA's viewership on NBA TV. Now, of course, everyone has shared their takes on the whole situation, and we are hearing from people on ESPN, people on podcasts. We are unfortunately hearing from the political talking heads. I'm so tired of the political pundits like taking a hold of women's basketball and talking about it like they've ever watched a game in their life. But anyway, we are hearing opinions from pretty much everyone, but this one really stood out to me and honestly really bothered me, because Stephen A. Smith is one of the biggest names in sports media, probably the biggest name in sports media. He gets paid millions and millions of dollars. He does a lot of work, and I respect him for that. I respect him for how much work that he does. He's on television pretty much 24/7. He's put in a lot of years into this industry, but it does frustrate me when it comes to women's basketball, when it comes to certain topics in women's basketball. He continues to get it wrong, and it doesn't seem like he cares at all. So I want to play for you guys something that he had to say about the fouls that happened and the lie that he continues to spread.
Caitlin Clark being that golden goose per se, that rising tide that's lifting all boats. I stand by my past proclamations that there's resentment towards her because of that. But I want to take it a step further. There's also resentment towards her because she instigates resentment towards her sometimes. Oh, Caitlin can clap at you now. Yes. Caitlin can antagonize you now. Remember in college, doggy. Remember in college, Eminem. The whole Angel Reese thing with her started because when Caitlin was giving it to everybody else, she was the one waving in their face. And that's why when Angel Reese and LSU got a hold of her, Angel Reese was like, yeah, it's your turn. That's where it came from. It was instigated by Caitlin Clark.
I'm going to stop it there. He continues to bring this up in so many arguments, and I just don't get it because it has been disproven so many times. Like, please find me the multiple clips of the many times that Caitlin Clark was doing this in the face of other people. And I do not want to bring up that whole thing with her and Angel Reese. We should be so far removed from it. Why do you keep bringing it up when it's also not true? And Hailey Van Lith is somebody who came out and said, Caitlin never did this to other players. She did it to her own strength coach directed toward the bench. And it's so funny because there's actually a community note on this video on X where fans came in and said, Hailey Van Lith already cleared this up in an interview that Caitlin Clark never did that towards her and she didn't do it toward other players also. Am I saying that Caitlin Clark doesn't talk trash? No, she absolutely does. Like, we have also seen seen that. She can be a hothead on the court, but can we stop spreading lies? And especially a lie like that, which you know is just gonna rile people up. You keep bringing up, digging up this old dirt and say that that is the reason why, oh, she gets smoked. That is the reason why sometimes people hard foul her because she is instigating. That's just truly not true. And lastly, you guys, I wanted to share with you something that Candace Parker recently had to say in an interview because I feel like it is relevant to what was going on the court in the Fever versus Sun game. Here's what she had to say.
You and Gino connected at all?
No. It's not beef, like it's just we don't like each other. We have to be in a place where people understand and respect that, right? Like there's so many men out there that don't like each other. Like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick don't like each other. Like they don't like each other, to my knowledge. I mean, like maybe they talk, but like, it's so okay in society for people to not like each other. It's so okay for people to come on social media and talk junk if you're a man. Like, it's fine. We don't like each other. I grew up in an era where if you wronged my brother, I didn't like you. Like, it's just like that. Pat did not mess with Gino. So therefore, I didn't mess with him. It was a rivalry. And then it kind of boiled over into putting on the same USA jersey. So I just feel like we have to be okay in a society of being like, hey, I don't like you. You don't like me? Cool, like let's keep it moving. The best feeling is you both knowing you don't like each other. There's not beef, because we moved past it. That's where I would love to get to in society, where it's just like, can we stop the fake rah-rah, whatever. You see each other and you're like, I don't like you, and I don't like you neither.
And this is relevant in a sense to what happened between the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun. At this point in time, you guys, it should be okay for us to say that it seems like Caitlin Clark and Jacy Sheldon don't like each other. They have been playing against each other since college, and it seems like they didn't like each other then either. It's not that big of a deal. Like, not everything has to turn into a think piece as to why somebody doesn't like somebody else. Oh, it's because of their ideology or their politics or the way that they wear their hair, the clothes that, like, it's not that serious. There are just times in life, like Candace said here, that you just don't like one another. And I think that also spills over into the Sophie situation where she was sticking up for her teammates, I say that plurally, and she was sticking up for herself. And like Candace said here, you mess with my dog, I also don't like you. Gino messed with Pat Summitt, they didn't like one another. All of a sudden, Candace doesn't like Gino as well. There are going to be players, just like there are in the NBA, just like there are in every other sport, who just don't like one another. And it adds to the drama of the game as long as players are continuing to be safe, as long as the refs have control over the game, as long as coaches have control over the game. A friendly, we don't like you beef, that kind of stuff is good for the game, and we should just leave it at that. But anyway, you guys, that is all that I have for you today. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, and click that little subscribe button because we upload new videos every single week. And with that, you guys, I'll see you next time. Ooh, and